Whether you achieve or not is secondary, but setting the goal is primary as such.
Yes.
At the moment, is there a digital push as a goal set in the organization?
Yeah.
You can't say we will become more digital, right? You got to say, hey, I want to do 100% digital because the biggest change AI is going to bring is ability to crunch data.
Welcome to Kaka Computer on the Field. And today we have another episode with Kissflow. It's been a year since we've actually interviewed, our team has interviewed you, Sir Rakesh. Na? Okay, so sir, just a recap, right, from a year ago. Could you tell us what Kissflow primarily is? Is it more for internal operations, external operations?
This was primarily for internal operation. Having said that, doesn't mean it's restricted to internal operation. Kissflow is a low-code, no-code AI transformation platform that enables all-round transformation of operations. Right? That's the focal area for us.
Right. And previously, and perhaps your latest target audience have been banks lately. And is the application of Kissflow customer facing, meaning, as an end user, do they see the actual Kissflow workflow, or is this more for bank tellers, bank managers?
So this is a more of an organization specific question, but in general, typically banks tend to build front end systems because they have branding exercises
Yes.
and so on. They will also have core systems, but the middle office is a big mess, right? And often they throw papers and Excels and very old rudimentary technology for that, right? And that is the space this was trying to solve for.
Right. So you are talking about, bank systems, right? Of course, in banks, there's a lot of questions about compliance, auditability, regulation, and risk. So how does Kissflow address this? It's not replacing the core banking system, right? It's
Certainly not.
built on top or alongside of it. So how does regulation and compliance come in when they're using Kissflow to make sure, like, for example, a bank teller or a bank manager who might be doing a low code doesn't accidentally have a button there that, can add account, right? Or something like that. Yeah.
So there are, okay, let's take this problem and break it into two parts.
Sure.
Right. One is, what is the philosophy of the organization as a, like how IT is a developmental program, transformation is also a program as a. So think it from that way, right? The second is the specific use case which you spoke about, right? So what you will have to build is called control measures. In simply put, they say governance, right?
Yes, governance.
So a citizen development program or an operation transformation program without a governance is every recipe for a disaster. So what Kissflow does, we build a 3P program internally, which is platform, people, process. You will have to build a program that connects all of these 3Ps. These are three pillars for operational transformation. Without these three pillars, you cannot transform it. So you have to put the program into play, especially the very, very compliance specific, highly regulated organization. So how do you do it? Think about this, right? If somebody wants to say, I want to automate this operation, right? You pick up that operation, try and zone the particular operation. Try and see, okay, how much of contact does this have with the core system?
Yes.
Right? Sometimes the operation does not touch at all the core system, right? It generates an output, it's a standalone part. So is it a standalone part or is it a satellite application? That it works as an auxiliary to the core system, right? So you categorize that. The second part is that you understand, okay, now it's an auxiliary system. How much of auxiliary part it is there, right? From a build perspective, from a consumption perspective. What sort of a regulatory user-based authentication are we keeping in, right? the same checker can also change the check value as well, right? That
Yes.
doesn't happen. How? Because you put down control protocols as well today, right? So similarly, how you can put this digital protocol to do onboarding, offboarding, release management, absoning of anything and everything which is built on the transformation side of it. So you put these key control measures to keep everything in check.
Right. So what I'm hearing is that Kissflow is not just the platform itself, but even the process and the, like you said, and from last year, citizen development is also a push, like a consulting that Kissflow
Yes.
technically helps with, so that they are not just the no code, but also the how to use it properly and how to govern it properly is also
So
part of Kissflow.
we don't consider ourselves as a vendor. We are a partner.
You're a partner.
I'm just quoting what Mitch, who's the CIO of SNL, is quoted in the last report which we gave from a nucleus report, right? So there's been coverage on that as well. So she quoted that we see Kissflow as a partner rather than a vendor. So we don't provide a platform, we provide a holistic solution as such.
Right.
We help organizations to build COEs, we co-run COEs, we do manage COEs as well for citizen development and operational excellence.
And I think that's a very important distinction, that you guys are not just the vendor, a platform vendor, but you are a partner, because, like, in these highly regulated or highly enterprise systems, there is a lot of governance and audit that is necessary. And here comes Kissflow with your experience at working with regional banks, regional enterprises, and you have that expertise on your history.
Just to add, it's not the same formula as well. Every bank or every large institution has their own DNA. as well. So citizen development, as I said, there's a P for people there, right? Which means you have to customize the program as per the culture of the organization as well.
Right.
Because it's not a transformation in terms of technology alone, right? It's a cultural shift in many ways.
So we talked a little bit about banks, and digital banks are coming to the Philippines. They're gaining traction. I wanted to ask, what are the biggest areas that you see banks have to digitize now? Is it more on the retail banking? Is it on the commercial banking, or other specific sub processes?
I think banks has to fundamentally change their philosophies itself. They cannot, they no longer cannot see themselves just as a financial organization, right? They have to think themselves as a tech organization, right?
A tech organization. Okay.
Like I spoke to a Singapore CIO who said this, right? We are competing with new digital age organizations who think digital first.
Yes.
They don't come up in terms of finance first, then digital, right? So this sort of a DNA has to be incorporated in every bank. I'm talking about Singapore, which is like the cutting edge, right?
Yes.
Now you take the similar scenario in Philippines. Look at the technology deficit we have. So if we don't start thinking technology first in terms of a solution, then it's going to become a problem.
Okay.
So instead of saying what aspect I want to move, you have to say, how can I do everything in one shot? I said,
Right.
if you're not 100% digital in the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to lose any competitive edge in the market. I said.
Kissflow's AI-powered low-code platform for IT and no-code platform for business leaders enables users build custom apps, automate workflows, and enhance enterprise efficiency. Try it today.
But going 100% digital immediately is going to be very hard for a lot of
No.
organizations, like, because it's a change management. Are there specific low-hanging fruit that they might want to consider as a test ground first, or
I
at
think-
least immediate gains that they can see?
Okay. Whether you achieve or not is secondary, but setting the goal is primary as such.
Yes.
At the moment, is there a digital push as a goal set in the organization?
Yeah.
You can't say we will become more digital, right? You got to say, hey, I want to do 100% digital, because the biggest change AI is going to bring is ability to crunch data.
Correct.
the insights AI will generate, I don't think anybody will be able to do that. No analyst will be able to do it at the pace with the AI does. Now, if your operations is not digital, then imagine that. Then how will the AI benefit you're going to get, right? So instead of focusing on one aspect of operation, you got to look at every aspect of operation, right? Now,
But
the,
as a first step,
that's where
usually,
I'm
right?
coming at.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where I'm coming at. So the easiest part for you to start automating is think about use cases which doesn't connect with your core system, but affects your business operations on a
Okay.
daily basis. Right? Pick up those use cases, start solving it. Right? Like for example, if you want to know a credit rating of an individual,
Credit rating, yeah, that's
it doesn't go into your financial system or any core system at it. Right? But every sales guy, whenever he's interacting on a loan or anything, they want that. How will they happen? They will send an email to an internal team who will sit on a system, find that part, and give it to you, which is incredibly difficult for a sales guy. He might need 10 or 15 guys on a day with a good sales, right? Raise 15 emails in a week. That will be like what, 75 emails?
Yeah.
Where will we find those emails? In the phone, on the go, in the summer of Manila? That's a difficult task, right? So think about starting there, where the productivity is directly going to be measured as well, right?
Yeah. So yes, actually, loan systems and credit systems are actually very core also to the financial health of the banks,
Yes.
right? Because it's a lot of revenue actually comes from that. So if you can
Absolutely.
automate and digitize that process really well, the accreditation, even the approval, that might be a good low-hanging fruit to start on, right? In the Philippines, since you guys have been here for quite some time, from what I understand, as you mentioned, you have some larger banks, some ERP here. Um, what are some of the public success stories that you can share?
Of course, we shared the Snap story recently as well. We are hoping to share some more public stories soon.
Uh-huh.
We are on course of that. We are working through this part. I cannot reveal those names right now,
Wow.
but we will be keeping Taka Computers posted on that, right? That's something which you're going to hear from us.
Perhaps from 1 year ago, because we've spoken last year about, or at least my team has spoken to you last year about citizen development. So, sorry?
So we did this on SN Avoiders, right?
SM Avoiders.
There's a public case study in terms of how citizen developers can improve ROI. So they did their operational transformation. They are about 420% in terms of ROI. The payback period was just 2.8 months, right?
Okay.
So that was an incredible story which we came out and
And that's in 2025.
yes, right. So we have a lot more customers in Philippines and across Asia Pacific from BFSI, energy, and so on. But for us to publish these metrics, it has to be a
Of
public
course.
report, right?
Yes, yes.
So we are doing economic impact reports on few of these organizations. When they're ready to be published, of course, we're going to keep you all posted.
Right. And perhaps to end our interview, a last question. Now that there's a lot of AI coming in, automation, but we as humans, we still want that human touch to some extent, right? How can we keep that human touch in the face of all of this automation? Like you said, for example, credit rating, perhaps then what that there's still some human aspect to, hey, I really need that loan because I believe in my system, I believe in the business, but the computer say denied, right? There must be some.
Okay. There is facts, then there are decisions, right?
Yes,
And how you use it. Like a credit rating is a factual number.
definitely.
That's
Yes.
not AI generated,
Yeah.
right? That's a system which has been built to generate a rating as such. AI is not going to take anything on.
Yeah.
And the second part is that when it comes to decision, I would leave AI to make suggestion by decision, right?
Mhm.
Especially if the decisions are significant as such. So the way Kissflow works is that Kissflow takes AI and puts it into three buckets: generation, analysis, insights, right? So if you have an Excel or a spreadsheet or a paper form, you take a photo of that, put it into an AI generator, it will generate the entire workflow in 30 seconds.
Oh.
Guys, imagine the rapid transformation we can do. any business guy would happily take it, right? What it does is that it doesn't give you the whole product. It gives you the setup and says you can now customize it if you want it without putting a single line of code. Now that is a blessing for business in many ways. The second part is that we do a lot of analysis in the sense, okay, you have built something in the product, you click our AI analysis, it analyzes the whole workflow and tells you how you can improve contextually into each of the setup. The third part is the insights. When I'm filling a form or I have a dashboard, we should tell me what are the insights about that particular form. Like I am filling, let's say, a credit request form,
Yes.
right? I can instantly say, hey, for this particular person, there has been loan rejections happened in the past in our organization, and you want to see the loan rejection record. Imagine what that does for a sales firm, right? Now, if AI is programmed in the right way, it gives the information for the sales guy to make the right decision. We still want the decisions to come from human being if it is worth for them to take those decisions. In a leave management, and if somebody is taking a leave, you don't want humans to approve it all the time, right?
Right.
If they have enough leave and it sounds legitimate, they should do it, right? And there are cases where it doesn't fit the whole criteria, then let the human beings do it.
Right. All right. So I guess, that wraps up our episode for now. Do you have any last words for our audience?
I think everybody has to start embracing the change. I think if you don't go digital in the next 3 to 5 years, there's a lot of loss put in front for every large enterprise has that. So I believe large enterprises will embrace this and make the change.